because this could be a bust right here. So welcome back, friends. Today's my favorite day of the week, Sawmill Saturday. Let me show you guys what we got going on. The Kubota had a dead battery this morning. Kind of surprised me. It's only got 7 hours on it, and it might have been sitting at the dealership for several months, but that's something we'll have to watch here in the next few weeks and make sure we don't have a bad battery on the Kubota, or something might be draining it when it's turned off. I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens. I think I'll hook this up to a battery tender tonight, let it charge all night to a full charge, and see what happens after that, but I'll keep you guys updated. And also, I think we finally fixed our camera problem here at the Sawmill. I'm running nothing but DJIs now. I bought 2 more. I got the Action 5 and the Action 6. And I'm actually using the Action 5 right now. I should be using the Action 6. My goodness, I got them mixed up. They look the same. So anyways, hopefully for here on out, we'll have better footage here at the mill. And more importantly, the batteries won't go dead so soon. So this right here, guys, is my camera case. Got this at Harbor Freight about a year ago. Works really good. And this is the new camera. This is a DJI Action 6. Has a ND filter there on the lens. Had to buy the cage for it. But this camera right here is going to take the place of the GoPro that was going dead all the time. I still may use the GoPro sometimes, but I won't rely on it now that I finally have 2 of these, including the one I got in my hand right now. But I need to switch them over real fast. All right, friends, we're now using the DJI Action 6, and compared to the footage I just showed you, can you see a big difference? Let me know down in the comments below. So the first thing we're going to work on is this poplar over here on the mobile dimensional. And we'll come in here and finish some test cuts I was working on the other day and get this row right here pretty much finished. And then we're going to switch gears and grab another poplar and take it over to the Super 70 to fill an order I just got this morning. And if you're wondering why we're going to be sawing this order on the Wood-Mizer and not the mobile dimensional since it has poplar on it, I'll explain that here in just a few minutes. And also, guys, real fast, I had a question from a previous video about the blades on this mill. And they asked, do they turn all the time? They sure do. As soon as you put the key in the ignition and turn this thing on, even to warm it up, there's no clutch or nothing like that. All 3 of these blades start turning. That's why you got this blade guard right here and also this one right here. And you got to have some common sense around this mill and not have anything close to this area that you may trip on. And always remember, those blades are turning and they don't care what they hit. And that right there would make a wreck of you in a real hurry right there. That's some dangerous stuff right there. Guys, let's warm up this engine. We'll start making some sawdust down here. That's also very important right there, what I just did. When you go up to this sawmill, make sure this clutch is not engaged and the sawmill is solid right there. When you engage this clutch, you can actually move it back and forth. But you don't want to do that when the engine's running, because if that blade hits something, it could shoot backward at you. So it's always very important, I try to do, is grab it, make sure it won't move. All right, guys, we're getting to the end of this run right here, and I've been cutting 7-inch wide boards up until now. And as you can see, the next cut right here is going to get into this bark right here over on the edge. So I think I'll use the top cutter and use it at the same time and drop down to about probably 5 inches right there. And our last 2 boards will be 5 inches wide. Now when you do that, you are left with the second board right here on the top, and it will probably be 1.5 inches wide with a little bit of wane on the side of it there. We can use that for something, you know, later on for some dunnage or something like that, or we can throw it in this pile right here and run it through the wood chipper, which is probably what we'll end up doing. Let's adjust this top cutter. And these 2 final boards right here, once we're done with them, we will probably be moving on to the Wood-Mizer after that. Let me see here, I'm looking for 5. All right, friends, before we bring the log over here, I've got a 6-inch cant on the mill. I need to saw that down to 1x6s for some dunnage for my customer. He also wants some full-size 2x4s. That's 8/4 right there. So we'll cut some 2x4s out of those few pieces. And this is low-grade pine, nothing special. All right, friends, what we're looking at is tulip poplar. Operator's side is 31 inches, just over 8 feet long. Man, that's a nice poplar right there. Down here on the far side, looks a little bit bigger. If you guys would hold that, I'd appreciate it. About 32, actually 31 and a half. A ½ inch of taper. Not too bad. Man, that's a nice log. So there's two reasons why we're going to saw this one on the Wood-Mizer and not the mobile dimensional. Reason number one is this log is pretty dirty on the outside. This came from a tree service. It's got a lot of mud on it, a lot of gravel and stuff. Just way too much to fool with. I could probably use a pressure washer though and get rid of that. But who wants to do that? So that's reason number one why we're going to put this on the Wood-Mizer, because the LT70 has a debarker, and the bandsaw blade is easier to change out and resharpen than a circle saw blade. Reason number two is we're going to be sawing these into 4/4 boards, 8 inches on the width, and my customer specifically said he wants them cut on the Wood-Mizer because he's going to put them up green and he wants a nice finish on them. He don't want the circle saw marks. And he's only wanting about 10 of these, so I'll probably make a decent size opening face on it and work my way around it to an 8-inch cant and discard that for him. Then the rest of it, I'm not sure what we're going to do, to be honest with you. And over here on the Sawmill today, we are running a Maine Silver Tip Turbo 7. This blade needs to be changed, but since the bark on that log has so much going on with it, with that dirt and that rock and stuff, I don't want to put a new blade on it and ruin that one on the 3rd or 4th cut. So we'll keep sawing with this one, and once we get rid of our slabs, then we'll change it over. All right, guys, that went pretty good. Got myself an 8-inch wide cant right there. And I should get at least 12 to 14 one-bys out of that. Dad just needs 10. That should be more than enough. And I'll tell you what, guys, this poplar is sawing out pretty nice. There's a little bit of sawdust buildup on here because I was going slow. Because like I said earlier, the blade is kind of dull. But now that we got all that bark off of it, we can put a brand new blade on here, and tomorrow we can sail through this pretty fast. When you have a nice sharp blade on the LT70 and you're running an 1.5 inch blade at 0.55 on the thickness, it could be a turbo 7, a number 4, number 7, number 10, it really don't matter. That sawmill has no trouble plowing through the log right there, and it's always nice and flat. I can go full speed through a knot like this and still stay nice and flat. So guys, I was going to keep on sawing, but I need to head up to the house and review all this footage with this brand new camera, because this could be a bust right here. Whenever you get a brand new camera, you should probably go out and do some test footage before you go out and make a video like I did today. But everything seems okay on this footage. The audio levels do look a little high on the screen right there though. May have to fool around with that in post. But anyways, it should turn out pretty good. And that's why we're gonna stop right here. And I have plans this evening as well. So in closing here, friends, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you don't care, hit that thumbs up button. It don't cost you nothing. It really helps this channel. And I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. We're gonna finish up this poplar. We're gonna get the wood chipper out. And I may start outlining some fencing for some cattle up here at the upper lot. But I need to get that surveying done. He still hasn't showed up to do the surveying. I better call him tomorrow. That's been 3 months. You would think in 3 months they would show up and do that by now. But I tell you, it's hard to get anybody to do anything nowadays. That's the way it is. So anyways, guys, I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about today's footage. Hopefully this video camera is going to be a big improvement from the GoPros. You guys hang in there, and I'll see you in the next one.